We interrupt this program to bring you a special report.
Hey all my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel, where we embrace our femininity, increase our womanly value, and celebrate our brothers. So join me on our feminine journey to learn, heal, and grow. Hey everybody. Hope everybody's Tuesday is going well. You're doing an excellent job on the likes. Thank you, Robert Jones. I just need y'all to bear with me a little bit. I got some news just a few minutes ago that I didn't want to get, and I'm still processing it. So please forgive my tone at this moment. Happy to see you too, pound for pound. Okay, so we're going to thank you, Suaved. God bless you. Thank you. Um, uh, let me go ahead. Should get my focus, get my bearings. My apologies. Um, so what we're gonna talk about is why black women pick these Build-A-Bear men that they swear that they don't want. These men that they swear that it's just they can't with these men. And they want the men to be of better quality so that they can choose better men. And so we're going to discuss why they picked the Build-A-Bear, why they don't choose better. So this is a continuation of the conversation from today's premiere that I thank you guys for participating with. So we're going to actually share screen, and I'm going to go through that same video because there was more that we can unpack from that young lady. And we're going to answer a few questions today. Not only why they picked the Build-A-Bum, but why women, black women, will raise the type of son that they would never date. Because that's been a question that's been floating around this space. Why do black women raise the men that they would never date? They raise the boys to be a certain way, right? But they don't, but the men that they deal with are very different from the men that they intend to raise. Thank you, D Nice. So hello, Kendra, I'm from Chicago, 79th and Loomis. Oh, okay. And when I go home for a visit, my wife and I would like to take to dinner. Oh, that's very sweet. Thank you so much for that. So without too much further ado, because we already about 10 minutes in, let me go ahead. I'm going to share my screen, and we're actually going to start from the beginning.
That's the message right here. Eat better. I want to look sublime.
In an alternate universe, or on some Freaky Friday shit, you woke up tomorrow and you were a man, what kind of nigga would you be?
I would be a hoe. I'm being honest. Like, I would be a hoe. I want to slay this thing. Like, when I wake up, I want to wake up like, I want to see how it feels, you know? I'm gonna get up, do what niggas do, get in the shower, get out the shower. Probably not put on any lotion, because obviously y'all don't put on lotion. I'm gonna go out to the mall and pick up some shorties, get their number. I'm gonna hit up a couple of them later. I'm gonna get one for lunch. No, one for brunch, one for lunch, one for dinner. See where they headed. And whichever one I like the best, I'm smashing her that night. Like, yeah.
Don't think it's that easy, huh?
Yeah.
That's
It
cute.
has to be.
Because again, this is for black men to get a peek into why the hell do y'all think like that, right?
Okay.
So
Okay. So let's deal with, let me come back to y'all. Let's deal with that. Let's unpack that for a moment. Thank you, Kinshasa. Say, hey, Kendra and Kim tonight. Take your time. Stay uniquely you. Thank you, sweetheart. Yeah, she accused the guys of not putting on no lotion. Some of y'all don't be putting on no lotion. What y'all got against it? Put some shea butter on or something. Anyway, she said to the question, if you could be a man in an alternate universe, whatever, what kind of man would you be? And she said, I'd be a 304. I'm gonna be that. And hey, Miss Sandra Faye. And so when she started explaining the course of a day of a man that she thinks is like a ladies' man or a guy that can get women real easy, she's like, yeah, I'm gonna get up, I'm gonna be, when I get up, I'm gonna go, I'm gonna talk to the women, I'm gonna get the numbers, I'm gonna talk to the shorties, whichever one I like, that's the one I'm gonna smash up. But and when you think about that, it sounds kind of funny, kind of cute, or whatever, I guess. I don't know if it sounds cute, but what this kind of displays is the penis envy, right? The envy of the penis of the man. She's like, I want to slang this thing. I want to see how that feels, right? I want to see how that feels. Here's the thing. A lot of Western women now, modern women, want the ability to do what they perceive men can do, along with not having the social stigma that men don't carry. Because let's be real, men don't carry the social stigma of something being wrong with him if he's able to bag a bunch of chicks. Okay? Now, he may not necessarily be getting called no names behind it. Right? He gonna be congratulated for it, is the honest truth. He's not gonna be castigated. He's going to be congratulated, especially by other men, especially by his circle of friends, especially by, anybody that knows that he's able to do what he's trying to do with these women. A man that's able to pull pretty much whatever kind of women at a high percentage rate that he go for is gonna be congratulated. Okay? A woman, on the other hand, is not congratulated. If she's the one that's going around and, she's making herself available to these men to have a bunch of sex with, she's not gonna be congratulated. She's going to be looked upon that's a negative for her. That's a negative for her. Okay? And it doesn't matter how they try to deal with it culturally, because they've tried to change the culture surrounding, women who are on that 304 thought tip, right? No slut shaming, slut walks. You can't, call women that. They had a whole, sexual liberation movement. Everything that has to do with women's empowerment at this point, especially when it concerns Black women in the culture, everything that has to do with their empowerment also is intricately interwoven with sexual so-called freedom, right? And promiscuity. It's intertwined with that. Anytime Black women are shown on television to be empowered or to be boss chicks or to be any of that type of stuff, that comes hand in hand with her sexual promiscuity. And that is portrayed as some sort of power for her, some sort of accolade, or it should be some sort of accolade for her rather than a negative strike against her, right? But the problem is the culture has not really accepted that. Even though they'll show it on television, they'll They'll perpetuate it in a movie. They'll perpetuate it in a show, especially movies and shows that are directed towards black women, i.e. Harlem. Everything about them women, they promiscuous. Okay? And that's supposed to be going hand in hand with the empowerment of them. Right? So they bask in that. The only problem is, even though they've attempted to change it culturally, it didn't change biologically. And when I say it didn't change biologically, I mean the men didn't change biologically in that sense. Men still have a certain kind of thought when it comes to a woman that they happen to know or they suspect highly of 304 activity. Even though the society we live in is the lost value system and it supports the transaction that even men get into, they still have a certain mindset when it comes to the 304. And this comes from a group of men who readily engage with 304s. Let's just call a thing a thing. This is men who love the company of the 304. Will readily seek out a 304 to get with. Okay? He picks her. He chooses her. He goes for her. Right? But at the same time, his mind, his inner biology didn't change when it comes to that. He's going to engage with her because most people are living in the lost value system. So we're going to engage in the transaction. Because let's call a thing. The men, to a certain degree, the men like the transaction because it's a transaction. Because it's cut and dry. Because I can just go over here and get this thing and I don't really have to have a whole lot of strings attached to that. Okay? Instead of giving 4 P's, I only get to give 1. So then I have to do the rest of it. And to a certain degree, men like that. They like the fact that the women have opened up the sexual market like that and say, hey, you don't have to really marry us. We don't have any standards anymore because we don't have any value anymore. So therefore, thank you, Norin. We've opened up the sexual market pretty much. We've dropped the standard. We've dropped the protection that we had in the forms of our fathers, in the forms of the support system and the men in our families and things of that nature. We stripped ourselves of that protection. So now, since we don't have that cover, the sexual market is open. Okay? It's open. So the men, to a large degree, actually like that. Oh, it's open? Oh, okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? It's like a store. That's like a store that you couldn't afford to go in all of a sudden having a blowout sale. And it's like, come in, it's buy 2, get 5 free. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever. It's like, oh, really? Are y'all having a sale? Okay, let me go in there and get, you know what I'm saying? I've been trying to get this. Let me go in here and get, you know what I'm saying? Or whatever. Right? Right. But men's biology still never truly changed when it comes to these women, because they'll deal with that woman all day, all night, all week, every day. But they don't like her. And I know that sounds weird to women. It especially sounds weird to good women. That sounds weird to good women. Even though I understand it and I'm explaining it, fellas, I need y'all to understand good women are confused by that. We're confused by that. Ever so slightly. Okay? However, getting back to this young lady, what's going on is the penis envy. And the reason why the culture can't completely shift is because men's biology doesn't change in that way. It never changed in that way. They still think, engage with her or not, they still think that woman is dirty. So the woman that runs through his mind when he thinks about all of this sexual fun he can have is oftentimes not the same woman that run through his mind when he thinks about the wife he can have. And for the ladies who are slightly confused about that, the good women who are slightly confused about that, let me clarify it for you. The guy that you would have fun with, that you would probably let slide through, and it's like, yeah, he coming through with the promise of power. That's probably not the same guy that you think about when you think about the security of a marriage. Probably not thinking about that same guy. It's the same thing. Okay? Same situation. So if you're confused about why do men go for 304s if they say they don't like 304s for the same reason that you like that guy, but if that guy came up to you talking about he wanted to marry you, like, oh God, no. Ooh. Boy, if you don't knock it off. I don't like you like that. Right? So please try not to be overly confused. Okay? Now, I'm going to go ahead and let it progress. I'm actually going to skip past the part that I talked about this morning because I talked about that part already. So I'm going to kind of skip past that and then we're going to keep going.
The question is...
Me asking that I chose the project because, I don't know. I think about together when you feel like you don't. And I think it makes you feel you are a project.
So it's an ego thing.
It could be an ego thing. I don't want nobody better than me.
That's interesting. Because it's, I guess, complicated because it's like, on one hand, I feel like women are kind of predisposed to want a man that they can look up to. Mm-hmm. Physically, sometimes spiritually, mentally, shit like that. So it's like, how do we reconcile? I want somebody that I could look up to, but I don't want a nigga who's too tall.
That's 100% a maturity thing. Until you hit that brain development stage that kind of stops you from doubting yourself or not knowing your worth and wanting full value in everything, until you reach that developmental stage, you're going to choose things that you feel like you're worthy of. And in reality, you're worthy of more than that. I think I kind of hit that, I'm hitting that space right now. So, like, what I look for now is totally different from what I looked for before.
Okay, so I'm going to pause it and I am going to discuss that point with you guys, okay? Because she said it's a maturity thing. Hey, Miss Haley. Don't be going missing in my chat room, Miss Haley. She was saying it's a maturity, knowing your worth kind of thing. I need my likes up. Y'all gonna make me do my dance? Come on, bam, 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 bam. You gotta hit the like button. Bam, bam. You gotta Come on, come on, come on, come on. Hit the like button, please. Okay? So, she said it was a maturity thing, right? Then she says, you get tired or you have to at some point learn your worth and then you look for better. Unfortunately, this is taking place under the lost value system. And what I'm talking about is the fact that knowing your worth, a lot of times from a lot of these women. Thank you, Philip J. So I'll be out of the good old USA for a few. Keep your foot on their necks. Get the likes up, y'all. Oh, okay. Well, I hope that you have a good trip, whether it's for business or pleasure, and be safe. Be careful. Unfortunately, this is all happening under the lost value system, right? Because a lot of these women, when they say, I'm knowing my worth, I'm figuring out my worth, and I don't want the same thing anymore. It sounds good. It sounds like they're saying that I'm a better person and I've come to a better space emotionally and mentally, you know what I'm saying, and all of this and all of this type of stuff, spiritually and all of this, right? And so therefore, since I've elevated myself in these internal ways, therefore I'm a different person. So I'm not looking for the same things that I might have been looking for at 18 that I'm looking for at 28. Sounds good. And in a perfect world, under the 10 life values, that would actually be what they're talking about. But unfortunately, it's too many women that don't quite mean it like that. What's happening is when they say I found my worth, I know my worth, they mean I'm tired. I'm tired of the transaction. I'm tired of the lack of fulfillment with the transaction. Instead of being given something, instead of being fulfilled, instead of feeling better, instead of feeling more whole, or or any of that stuff, I actually feel emptier as I go on, which is why you find a lot of older women that say that versus the younger women. The younger women don't really talk like that. It's when they start hitting like 32, 33, and they've never been married or they've never been in a long-standing relationship, 7 or 10 years or anything like that. If they've never been in that situation for their adult life and they're like in their early to mid 30s or something like that, this is when you start hearing that talk. I'm knowing my worth now. I'm not going for the same type of guy. Okay? So she's saying, I'm tired of not being fulfilled in these very transactional dealings that I'm having with men. And when I say transaction, I don't even necessarily mean a prostitute type of transaction. I just mean guy to guy. Nothing's very serious. Nothing is very solid. Nothing is very stable. Everything is always kind of in the air. It might go serious. Maybe it won't. I kind of like this guy. I'm trying to make sure that this guy's stable, but I gotta pull back because he giving me mixed signals and I don't really know how to read them. So, you know what I'm saying? I don't quite know exactly what's going on and that kind of thing. It's not even necessarily a prostitution type of transaction. It's more of the I'm not being fulfilled because I'm not actually receiving the provision, the problem solving, the protection, and the procreation from one man. I'm having to get it a little bit over here, a little bit over there, a little bit over there. You know what I'm saying? And it's not fulfilling to me. It's temporary. I'm temporarily all right. It's this one guy, he's a Build-A-Bear, but at the same time, he talk a good game. You know what I'm saying? Like he be talking like he gonna do something better. He be talking like he gonna have a vision. But then it sound good, and I want a dude that do talk like that do have the vision, but I don't see no movement. Thank you, Bishop. How you doing, sweetheart? And then you got the other situation where, okay, he not a build-a-bum. It's like he got the money and the mobility and the education. Like he got that stuff, but he won't take me seriously. Every time I try to reach out, every time I try to you know what I'm saying, like try to show him in the best way that I can show him that I'm serious about him and that I want him to take me seriously, he always pull back. He always, you know what I'm saying, he flaky, he this, he that, yada, yada, yada. And so this is the lack of fulfillment is what we talking about. However, the catch is what this young lady said in this video. We're picking the men on purpose. And that's the catch-22. That's the whole craziness of it. Because it's unfulfilling to them. It doesn't make women feel good, especially as time goes on and it continues to be that way. But at the same time, they can't stop picking them type of guys because they're doing it on purpose. And they're picking them type of guys that's got some fatal flaw. When I say fatal flaw, what I mean is some part of this 10 life value system is in complete breakdown. Some part of this system, one or more parts of this system in his life is in complete breakdown. Somewhere, the guy that's got some of the external stuff going on pretty good is missing the internal stuff. He not a family guy. He not a spiritual guy. He don't want to really be leading you. He don't want to really talk to you like that. He don't want, that kind of thing. Or the guy that seems like he got the spiritual internal stuff together. He ain't got the external stuff. So it's one or the other. Thank you, Eugene Steele. So all that living the 304 lifestyle caught up to these women. They're finding out the consequence that may affect the rest of their lives. Yeah. So now, as the women get older and are living in a transactional type of situation that is born of the lost value system, she get tired of that. Because there's no fulfillment in any of them internal places where women truly reside, where the femininity and the feminine energy actually resides. There's no fulfillment in that part of it. So even if she get a guy to take her out to give her money, ride her somewhere, blah, 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 he ain't committing though. He's not feeding her emotionally. She's not getting the internal stuff. She's getting bits and pieces. And them bits and pieces, instead of adding up to be something whole, they take away from her. They actually take away from her. And it's less evident when a woman is young. When she's young and in the lost value system, she can't feel the effects of it as much as she does when she gets older. Thank you, Norin. And see, I'm gonna let the guys know something. First of all, I need my likes up. I got 510 people watching. I got 386 likes. Matter of fact, get the likes up. We're gonna hit a commercial break, and then I'm gonna tell the guys what I need them to know. Be right back.
Happy Valentine's Day from all of us at A-Game.
Okay, so here is the little fact that I need the men to know. When women come to that, this is not always the wall. This is not always in the decline of her being able to attract men. This isn't always happening in that space. Because there are 30-year-old women that you think are 20. Men think if she taking care of herself and she was pretty or whatever, you don't see that age on her. However, she isn't quite at the wall yet. She's not experiencing a lack or a lessening of being able to sexually attract any of the men that she's looking for. That's not always what's going on. Sometimes that's what's going on, but not all the time. Let me tell you about the psychology of women. She's not being fulfilled yet. That's what she's tired of. I've met women who could still pull it like she did when she was younger, because she looked like she's young. She looked like she's young. Men can never guess her age, because she looked a good 10 years younger than what she really is. She's pretty too. Body mannerisms young, voice light, small, little, petite, cute thing. They don't know till she tell them. If she tell them. Problem is, it's not the non-attracting of the men. Cause let's just, can I call a spade a spade? Can I call a spade a spade? Women who are 30, 31, 32, if they still looking good, men are not passing them up. Let's just be real about that. These women do not become old maids. Cause I double dog dare a man to tell me he would not deal with a 30-year-old if she fine. Most women who are able to keep themselves together physically, not having no whole problem, no big problem attracting no men for sex. Now I'm talking about for sex. I'm not necessarily talking about for marriage. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about for the sex. As long as she looking good, long as it's right in the right places, long as it ain't sagging and dragging, long as it ain't ugly. That's all it's gotta be. He ain't turning her down for that. Because if that was the case, every woman over 30 would be like, we can't find no man to have sex with us. It was just a lie. Right? That's a lie, ain't it? Right. She just gets passed up when it comes to the commitment part. And that's not even necessarily because of her age. It's because of the emptiness of her vessel. That's why she's getting passed up for commitment. Because a man wouldn't even pass up a 30, 31, 32-year-old woman, especially if she ain't got no kids and stuff like that, if she was a whole vessel. He wouldn't pass her up either. She looked nice and she a whole vessel. Ain't no such thing as the wall. Ain't no such thing as that wall. Because in that case, she's a lioness. In that case, she's a good woman. And good women don't hit the wall. We age. Y'all understand the difference? We're going to get back to that video. But I need to kind of knock down, or at least present it in a different perspective, some of this stuff that we hear in this space. So if you are a woman of value and you physically kept yourself up to match the inside value, then you don't really get passed up. because men are actually looking for the value. And if you're getting passed up and you only 30, 31, 32, you still look good, you're not getting passed up because you 30, 31, or 32. You're getting passed up because you're an empty vessel or a broken one. And he doesn't see any value that you add to him. He don't see it. He can't see it. What he's sensing is the brokenness of your vessel. And once he senses the brokenness of the vessel, it's like, I can't really do nothing with that other than have sex with her. If I do that much. Now, I can't really do nothing more with her because she's not suitable anymore. For whatever reason, whatever happened to her before I found out about her, she ain't suitable now. But anyway, let me move forward. Because I'm going to actually skip forward. I hope y'all understood what I was trying to say.
I feel like this will be another know your...
Kind of stuff confuses dudes. So like, because we would assume it's the James Bond.
Which one? The jean?
Which was more like street style, you know. Nice looking suit, like James Street, and get the reaction of women. So one dude, for instance, he put on, you know, a more dapper suit, you know what I'm saying? Fitted suit, nice looking suit, like James Bond shit. Mm-hmm. And he went out into the street, and then the next outfit he put on was more like street style, you know, jean jacket, you know what I'm saying? That type of shit. And he asked women, which of these aesthetics do you find more attractive? Guess which one most women voted as more attractive?
Which one? The jean?
And I think that kind of stuff confuses dudes. So like, because we would assume it's the James Bond, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So like, can you shed some light on that? Like why that might be?
I feel like this will be another know your worth kind of question. When the guy is dressed down, the personality that's presented through a visual is, I'm down to earth. I can go sit and chill with you. I can go to the bar and get a drink with you. You know, we can go hang out with your friends. We can go hang out with my friends. We can do something fun. Whereas the personality through the visual of the man in a nice suit is, I only do the expensive things. Like, I have to take you to a nice restaurant. I am going to take you on a boat. I am going to take you on a vacation. And those are all things that we want, yes, but we also want to feel like our man is down to earth. Like, I can chill with you, I can talk to you, I can lay here beside you, not say a word, and still feel comfortable. With that type of man in the suit, it's almost as if I gotta get my shit together tomorrow. You know, and if that person, if the lady feels like I'm not already there, or I'm not even on the road to having my stuff together, you're too much for me. You're worth way more than I can have right now. For me, I'll say both of them. Can you do both of them?
So we're going to pause it. We're going to pause and I'm going to come back to you. And I must say, the young lady, thank you 39 Dina, the young lady that they interview, and she just cute as a button. I just gotta say that she is so cute because she ain't really got hardly no makeup on. She's just her, and she is just so cute. But anyway, so the question to her was, same guy did an attraction test. He dressed up in a suit, went out, and then he dressed down in some jeans and went out. Who was more attractive? How much more attraction did he get in either state? And she said the jeans, right? So she's she started giving the impression, just from the imagery, what most women are thinking when they see a man dressed Dapper Dan, you know what I'm saying, 007 style, versus the guy that's dressed down in the jeans and the shirt or whatever. Okay? And she was saying how, you know, the guy seemed more approachable, more relatable if he's dressed down. I can chill, I can talk to him, I can kick it, I can, in other words, I can quote unquote be myself. With the guy that's seems more upper class or upper echelon, it's like, nope, you can't be yourself. You have to rise up to his level, right? Here's what's really being said. The man who's dressed down is more indicative of a guy that's willing to tolerate more of my trouble and chaos than the guy that's more upscale. He's probably not going to tolerate my trouble and threat and chaos as much as the guy that's dressed down. He probably not gonna tolerate. You see what I'm saying? So I can go for the guy that's seen in all cases that seems to be a little bit lower on the totem pole. I might be able to get away with more with that guy. I might be able to get away with some more threat with that guy. I might be in a position where he values me in a relationship more than I value him. So I might be able to get away with more because he don't want to lose me, right? But the guy that seems like I gotta work to keep him, I can't really engage in all of that trouble and threat and chaos and here and there. I'm all over the place because he seemed like the type of guy that ain't got time for that. Okay? And is willing to dismiss me if I do too much. If I do too much, if I'm too much of trouble, if I'm too much of threat, I can't get away with as much. I can't be hood. I can't cuss and carry on and drink beer out the can and, you know what I'm saying, pass gas on the couch with him. Like, he ain't gonna take that. He not gonna deal with that. He wants a refined, sophisticated, feminine woman, and I'm not her. And I know I'm not her. And I'm not even on the road to becoming her. So I don't even want to deal with that guy because I'm not up to par. I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy. He said, she said it. It seemed like I got to get my stuff together today. And for the woman who don't got it together or not even on the road to getting it together, essentially, I'm intimidated by that guy. That guy intimidates me. Okay? I don't want nothing to do. I don't even want to test that water. Because he might have things better. He might actually be better. Right? He might actually be better. So she's scared of that guy. I'm going to go ahead and continue. Let me share my screen again. We'll be done in a little bit. I'm not going to go over this time.
That's solid. Well, follow up to that, there's the point of it, personalities. Personality A was more so, stern, more so stoic, like, like the, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And personality 2 was more so like jokey, like, happy, hey, how you doing type shit. Mm-hmm. And then they showed both of these recordings, like they passed a group of women through a booth or a room or whatever and show them both the recordings and ask them to rate the attractiveness of each guy. Same nigga, but rate the attractiveness of each guy. Guess who got rated the higher in attractiveness? Yeah, guy A, who was more serious, didn't smile, just, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Why?
I don't know. It sounds sexy. Like, I really look at me like, they look at me like, it's weird. I don't know. That's not the setting to do that. Let me think on this one. There is a seriousness about guy A. And typically in a bar setting, woman's gonna go to the bar with her homegirl that's single, or she the single homegirl. So I feel like you got the serious guy looking at you and giving you the eye, making you feel like I'm trying to pull you towards me. You're gonna go for that because if you're at the bar age, really think about it, 21-year-olds don't typically go to the bar unless it's the bar at the club. So, if you're at the bar age, you're looking for something serious. So if you got guy A looking at you, you're like, oh, he seems like he wants something that's more than just a one-night stand, or more than just adding me to a notch in his belt. So I feel like that type of woman will go towards guy A. Whereas if you have guy B sitting at this bar, the women that's there are not looking for a silly fun time. They're looking for a man who knows what he wants. If you silly and goofing off at the bar, you either A, don't know what you want, B, you might have a drinking problem, C, maybe you got a wife and some kids at home. That ain't what I want.
Now, let me come back to y'all. Okay. Here's the issue with this. The serious guy is more attractive than the kind of sillier, more open kind of guy. And here's why. This is her biology talking. And what you're really hearing, thank you, Sibo. What you're really hearing is the battle between the biology and what she's culturally taught, right? Why would the man who looks more serious be more attractive than the guy that's smiling and seems like he's more open and has a more bubbly personality? I'm going to tell you what it is. When we talking about this, the guy that seems more happy-go-lucky, smiley, a little bit more silly, a little bit more goofy or whatever, comes off to a lot of these women as a simp, possibly. A possible pushover. A possible guy who'll take more of her mess. Here's the battle. Culturally, black women are encouraged. Culturally, black women are encouraged to go for the guy that is gonna take her mess. Biologically, she don't want that guy. And she don't like dealing with that guy. This is why I'm doing this show. To show y'all the juxtaposition between a woman's thought processes in the lost value system versus the 10 life value system. It's a battle because one is seated in the truth, the other one is seated in a lie. So we have situations of cognitive dissonance. I want a guy that I can get away with stuff with because I can get away with stuff with him. But I don't like that guy at the same time because he lets me get away with stuff. And a man that's on his masculinity would see my chaos for what it was and not let me do it. He would demand that I either don't do it or get rid of me. Thank you again, Norrin. You understand what I mean? This is the fight. This is where the cognitive dissonance is coming in at. This is why there's cognitive dissonance. This is what I'm trying to get y'all to understand. This is why she raises the boy to be a man that she would never date. We're around the end. So I'm just going to tell you about it. He asks her, the last question that he asks her is, what kind of son do you want to raise? If you raised a black son, what kind of man would you raise? And she started smiling because she got how he got back around to that point. And she said, I would try to raise a man that's respectful and respectable, that people look up to, that people respect, and he respect others. You know what I'm saying? And all of these good, wholesome qualities. Then he asked her, why would you raise your son so differently from the man you want to be? Here's why. She want to raise her son not to be a simp, she's trying to raise her son under the 10 life value system, a value system she don't know about, but one that she knows exists. She knows there's a better system out there. She knows that. Everybody knows intrinsically that there's something better going on in the world than the lost value system. Because the lost value system leaves you so empty. It leaves you so unfulfilled. Gotta be something better. She wants to raise a son in the 10 life value system, but she's at a level herself that she can only choose men out of the lost value system. That's why she's raising her son different from the man she chooses to be with. Do y'all understand? Did that make sense? I need to know if that made sense to y'all. I hope y'all can see what I'm actually saying. That's where the two minds come from. That's where it's coming from. It's coming from the fact that she knows there's a better system. The only reason she fails to raise a son that is truly embodying of the 10 life values is because she don't have the 10 life values in her life. So she can't give what she don't have. You understand what I'm saying? This is why it fails. This is why the son turns out a simp or whatever. This is why it don't turn out right. Because she herself is not a part of the 10 life value system. She herself is a part of the lost value system. That's what she knows. So that's all she can give him. Even though she's trying to give him a better value system than the one she live in. But ultimately, the reality is that you can't give people stuff you don't have. No matter how much you want to give it to them. Hopefully, I was able to answer a couple of these questions and make it make sense to y'all. This is why a lot of women, when you start talking to them, it's contradictory because she's going through the internal battle. She 1 minute she's leaning towards the true biology The next minute, she's leaning towards the cultural lies that she's been told. That's why it's like, wait a minute, but I thought you said, no. What I'm trying to say is that, and that's why she can't explain it. Because you can't reconcile the 10 life values with the lost value system. You can't reconcile it. One is built on a lie. The other one is built on the truth. You can't reconcile a truth and a lie. So hopefully that helps somebody out. Hopefully that helps people understand, because we have to come to a point where we understand what's going on, why we think the way we think, why we're seeing the world the way we see the world. This isn't about coming down on black women for no reason. Us as black women, we have to understand what we've gone through personally, what the women around us are thinking, and why they think that. Why do your mama think the way she think? Why your sisters think the way they think? Why your friends think the way they think? All this. Why did you think this way a year ago? 6 months ago? Why did you do it? Why was you doing some of the stuff that you was doing? Where did that come from? And how do we evolve out of them spaces? We can't evolve out of them spaces without looking within, without self-examination. We can't do it. This show was brought to you by A Game. What is A Game? A Game is a male herbal solution with 21 wonderful herbs and no artificial ingredients that addresses a man's vitality, his energy, his strength, and his libido. So fellas, if you want to be on your A game, ladies, if you got men in your life and you need them to be on their A game, all you got to do is click the link at the top of the chat, agameherbal.com, and you can get a 10% discount using the code Kendra10. You can have this box of awesomeness delivered to you ASAP. I want to thank everyone for their very generous contributions today. Everyone for their likes, everyone for their time, and a warm thank you to my team, without which none of this is possible. So thank you so much. I am going to wrap this up, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Bye-bye, Crimsonites. Hey guys, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. And if you've got more to say on the topic, leave a comment down below. Also, don't forget to support our sponsor, who so graciously supports this channel by clicking the description box and the link for A Game at agameherbal.com. You can go ahead and get a 10% discount off of your next purchase using the code Kendra10. This has been yet another Crimson Cure production, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.